Iran, Israel. Israel attacks Iran, okay? Israel kills 78 people, Iranians, a mix of senior IRGC commanders, nuclear scientists, and civilians, to over 320 injured while they did this. Okay, this is per Iran's UN ambassador given that report. Israeli casualties, 3. Civilians killed because Iran retaliated. Missiles, drone strikes on Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and nearby areas. At least 22 to 43 injured based on the reports that they're given. What a wide range, including both civilians and soldiers. On top of that, when you think about who was taken out, this is the biggest thing as they're going back and forth with this. Top Iranian commanders killed. The head of the IRGC killed, okay, commander-in-chief. He's been there since 2019. So this is a legit guy, 6 years, not a newer guy. That's Major General Hossein Salami. And then Major General Mohammad Baghari, he's the chief of staff of Iran's armed forces, dead. Brigadier General Amir Ali Hajizadeh, out. He's the head of the IRGC Aerospace Force, responsible for missiles and drone system. Major General Ghulam Ali Rashid, commander on Khatam al-Anbiya Central Headquarters, overseeing major military operations, killed. Ali Shamkhani, former Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council and senior advisor to Supreme Leader Khamenei, killed. 6 scientists killed. 1, Fereydun Abbasi Davani, former head of the Atomic Energy Organization, very experienced. Mohammad Mehdi Tahranchi, noted physicist and university rector. And then other high-level military losses, Dawood Shaikhian, IRGC Aerial Command-in-Chief, Tarpur, commander of IRGC drone units, and up to 20 senior IRGC commanders in total were killed. This is what's happened roughly in the last 48 hours. It's nasty. It's not pretty. Both sides are saying a lot of different things. There's a clip of Netanyahu that comes out and saying they're going to attack for as long as it takes. So it's not like this is a 2-day thing. Rob, if you want to play this clip, go for it. Watch this here.
Moments ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before, steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were the victims of a Holocaust perpetrated by the Nazi regime. Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear Holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister, I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal. Tonight, Israel backs those words with action. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile
Rob, how long
program.
is this?
Last year,
10
Iran
more
fired
seconds.
300 ballistic missiles at Israel.
We can pause it right now. We got the idea. And by the way, Khamenei responded and he said Iran's supreme leader says, this is according to Reuters, Israel initiated the war. Okay, that's what Khamenei is saying. And Supreme Leader Khamenei stated on Friday that Israel initiated a war and said it will not be allowed to do hit-and-run attacks without grave consequences. The Zionist regime, Israel, will not remain unscathed from the consequences of its crime. Iranian nation must be guaranteed that our response will not be half-measured. This is all taking place, again, in the last 48 hours. Tom, your thoughts on what's going on here?
Well, the first thing is, I think the whole world saw this coming when, and maybe we were all being astroturfed, or gaslit when they're saying, well, they won't negotiate, negotiations are breaking down. But it sure seemed that Trump was being honest and straight up and saying he wanted to negotiate and he didn't want to get into any of this. And I said it on a Thursday podcast that at some point in time, Israel can't be kept on the leash. And it's a combination of I'm doing it and we can say don't, but they're off the leash. And this is not a strike. A strike is where you launch a couple cruise missiles and you take out a general in his car on the back of an airport. That's a strike. This is an action. This is an ongoing action. And I think Israel took the step that a lot of people in the West wanted them to take. We did not want necessarily the war, but we don't want the nuclear power. And so the step was taken, and this action is now ongoing.
But Brandon, your thoughts?
Yeah, so there's two camps here. One camp is saying that's a great thing that we're hitting Iran this way. You know, it's a really impressive military attack where we were able to precisely hit the military leaders, precisely hit the nuclear sites and the scientists, and that's awesome. And the Iranian regime definitely should be taken out. The world would definitely be a better place without this regime in place because it's, massively destabilized the Middle East, and Iran could be a great place if this regime gets taken down. Then the other camp of people is saying, oh, this is terrible because the U.S. is going to get dragged into this and could be a forever war again. It cost us trillions of dollars last time. So, I mean, I see both those things, but I think the best way this could be carried out is by getting the people of Iran to revolt against the government themselves because surveys show that 60% of the people in Iran want government change, want a regime change. So I think that these attacks are fantastic, the way that they did it with precision, low casualty rates, because the last thing we need is for the population of Iran to turn hostily against the West, because if they're against the government more so than the West, then I think we could get this done from the inside rather than having to do it from the outside.
Vinny, thoughts?
Bibi's been wanting this war since 1992. He's on camera multiple times saying Iran's 3 to 5 years away from having a nuclear weapon. He did it again in 2000, 2001, 2010. He said it multiple times, so he got it. And it's kind of interesting that a couple weeks ago, Mike Waltz was in a cabinet meeting and he was on an Israeli Signal app with the leaked text that was saying, basically trying to push us to go to war with Iran. That's why he got fired. He had to come down, and that's where that relationship with Trump and him got a little bit dicey. I'm happy that Trump's attitude is hey, listen, you want the war, you want to go fight, go do it. You want everybody else to be involved. You feel threatened. You have allegedly you have a bunch of nuclear weapons. You're very, very strong. You have the IDF, you have the Mossad. Go for it. You know what I mean? Hopefully it doesn't get wild and crazy. The only thing that bothers me, Pat, and this has been going all over the internet. Charlie Kirk said it. Graham Allen said it. Laura Loomer's been hinting at it. They're like, hey, everybody, be careful this week. With this No Kings protest, everybody be careful. Iran's going to attack. The only thing that I'm worried about, Pat, and a lot of people out there, because I know this is what's going to happen. An attack is going to happen on United States soil. Thomas Homan said it. Everybody's been warning it. We know what the border was about, besides the drugs and the children and all this shit. They have terrorists in this country 100%. That because we're not all in with Israel, God forbid something happens here, and whoever it is says, hey, that's Iran, they're going to force Trump's hand, because the only way to get America behind this is when stuff happens here. 9/11 happened here. Everybody, me included, I was in the military. Let's go and kill everybody. And then we found out, wait a minute, they don't have the nukes and the everything. That's the only fear for me, Pat. I'm good for Israel. They're doing it strategically. They're not blanket bombing everything and flattening it. My only thing is I don't want 0 Americans involved and 0 Americans to die, period.
Adam.
There's so much to unpack here, but what I would like to start off with saying is, you know how DJ Khaled has a famous meme? It's like, congratulations, you played yourself. You ever heard him do that? That's how I feel the whole relationship with Trump and Netanyahu and what they've done to the media. In my opinion, Trump and Netanyahu have been coordinated on this entire process. Marco Rubio came out and made a statement and basically said, yeah, we knew exactly what was happening. So if you've been following history, they've been doing these nuclear talks with Iran for years. They had a bad deal under Obama. Trump unwinded them. They've been going back and forth for the last 60 days, almost pretending to have talks. Now, if you know anything about the Ayatollahs and the mullahs in Iran, talk is cheap. The only thing they respond to is actions. So Trump, as of like 72 hours ago, was basically like, yeah, we've done nothing. Nothing has happened. Essentially, they disrespected me, and no deal's been in place. So in my opinion, they already had the green light. When this deal doesn't get done, get everybody out of the embassies. Did they not remove everybody out of the embassies 48 hours ago? And they give the green light to Israel. All right, if this is what you want to do, go for it. We're quote unquote not involved whatsoever, wink, wink. And that's what's happening. So everyone in Israel is amazingly proud. I had dinner with 2 IDF soldiers last night. Randomly, they were sitting next to me. They go, hey, I recognize you from PBD. Yeah. I go, where are you guys? Oh, from Israel. I go, did you serve in the IDF? Yeah. How do you feel about this? They go, you have no idea. We are so proud. We are so proud. Because Iran has been warning Israel, chanting death to Israel, death to America forever. And so people think that just started. This war has been going back and forth like this since October 7th. So there's a lot of proud people in Israel today. And you know who the proudest people are in the world today, if you ask me? Have you seen the videos of the people of Iran screaming with pure joy and excitement that somebody is going to do something
Hit them.
to end the regime in Iran? The happiest people in the world today are the Iranian people. Because make no mistake about it, there's a big difference between the Iranian regime and the Iranian people.
Yeah. So look, as you're going through this and watching everything that's taking place, my opinion is very simple. Everybody it falls in different categories. And let me kind of walk you through what different categories they fall under. You're either a true believer. You're either a emotional person that someone caused you to believe what you believe in today, or you're a logical player, okay? But you fall under 3 different categories. And the last category, you know what the last category is? I don't give a shit about this. That's the last category. I don't care about this. I don't care what happens. I don't follow it. All I care about is the fact that yesterday OKC tied it 2-2. And I'm glad the fact that, the Panthers are tied 2-2 with the Oilers. Okay, and we were at the game. We saw Vince Vaughn, all these other guys, and players were sitting right next to Connor McDavid's family. We're hanging out with Wayne Gretzky's son, family, all this stuff. That's all I care about. I don't care about this political stuff. Let's set that person aside for a second. You're probably not going to be watching this podcast anyway if you're party number 4. But let's talk about the first 3, okay? The true believer, the 2 IDF soldiers you had dinner with last night, they're true believers, okay? The true believer, somebody that went to war, on what do you call it, 9/11, hey, we're going, and it's like, that's the true believer, right? That I was in it. I experienced this. That's the true believer, that they went through it. Then you have the emotional people that got caught in. You all of a sudden are woke right. Israel sucks. And Netanyahu is the second coming of the Antichrist. And this is the right. And all you're doing is you're just following what you hear on Twitter. Or you're it's, oh my God, this is done. All these people getting killed. We got to take them out. Take out the Iranians and take out Khamenei and take those guys out. We need regime change. But you're part of the emotional side. I'll be very transparent with you guys where I lie on this, okay, with Iran and Israel. I lived in Iran, as you know, 11 years. And I saw what it was like. And I saw what Iran was like previous to that. It's very weird. Today, President Trump turned 79 years old. And you know what else happened? The revolution happened in 1979. I'm a guy with numbers. So revolution happened in 1979. Trump is 79 years old today. Today is Army's 250-year anniversary in the U.S., okay? And we just got a report that they're doing a No Kings protest. We just got the report that they're doing it in Miami, and they're doing it right here in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, we just got that report. 1,500 cities. We found that they're doing it here, and they're trying to impose fear and all this other stuff. I was having a conversation with one of my guys yesterday, and one of my favorite guys in the insurance company. I'm about to host a pretty big meeting on a lot of good things that's going on there. But I said, one thing that's very weird that's happened ever since I'm no longer there. What's that? This language has changed. What do you mean? I don't remember me ever training you guys to live in a life with fear-based. What is this fear language? What is this fear language? Oh, my God, what if they do this and what if they do that? What if they do this? Pivot. Go call your audible. But this like seeping in of, oh, my God, I'm afraid I'm this. This is freaking America. The hell are we talking about? This is we became what we became because we didn't fear UK. We're like, no, we're going to stand up. That was tough. That was really tough. We're going to go find a new entire land and build our own company. What are you talking about? Yeah, how are you going to do it? Private jet? No, a freaking ship. You mean to tell me you guys didn't take planes? No. So imagine ships being made during that time and you're going from one side to the other side. What is the risk? That's scary. Imagine you're on the ship. You got many days. All these sounds with wood and all this stuff, they're not making this stuff based on high-end technology. And you have the faith to go all the way across, and then you build the greatest country in the world that's about to turn 250 years old next year. This is a miracle. America's based on faith, values, principle, confidence, leadership, principles on freedom, faith. We believe in God. We believe he's on our side. We believe this is going to happen. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh my God, what if they do this? And what if they do that? And what if they do this? Stop it already. Stop it already. You know, if they're going to do something and they scare the crap out of us, then we're falling for it. You know, if you really claim you believe in God and you have faith, what happened when they were in the storm and everybody was panicking? It's like, what are you guys doing? Did you not remember that part in Bible study or when you went to church? What was that message about? Everybody was panicking, right? And this is when leaderships rise. So for me, as a person that was born in Iran, yes, I can't stand this regime. Yes, they've called, the only thing that's been persistent and consistent is the following. When the Shah was in Iran, did Israel already exist?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Was Israel causing chaos? Was there war in the Middle East? Let me say this one more time. When Iran was ran by the Shah, what year was the Shah of Iran? What years did he run Iran?
53 through 79, I think.
Okay, 53 is the oil consortium, so 54 is the oil consortium. 41 to 79.
Oh, wow.
Because he started at 21 years old, young man, right? 41 to 79. When did Israel become a nation?
48.
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out. Why is it that between 48 to 79, while the Shah was the king of Iran, running Iran, why is it for 31 years there is no major war in the Middle East? Why is that? So to the people that want to say it's all Israel's fault, how come there wasn't that in Iran for 31 years? I'm curious. Answer that question for me. And why is it from 79, when the mullahs, the Hezbollahs, the IRGC, all these guys, the Khomeinis, all of them took over, why has there been chaos in the Middle East in 79? Whose fault is that? America's been consistent. Yes, I know America wanted the oil from Iran, and yes, I know UK wanted it, and MI6 and CIA and all this stuff. And yes, I also am aware that the Shah didn't trust Israel. The Shah didn't trust, what they were doing with media and finance and the ambition and the level and the control and the influence and all that stuff. He knew what was going on there. He wanted to compete with them. He didn't see himself as a victim. He's like, we're going to be doing the same thing. And they're like, wait a minute, this guy's too ambitious and he thinks he can go up against all of us. Let's take this guy out. We need chaos in the Middle East. Oh, shit. Even Israel being involved, let's just say for Iran and the Shah fallen, there is chaos now in the Middle East. On who, though? Who did that? So, yeah, for me, the most consistent thing behind the chaos in the Middle East has been Iran. That's just the reality of it. So we can say whatever we want to say. That's a fact on what's happened there. Now, since then, what has happened to Israel? They've gotten more powerful. They've gotten better relationship. They've gotten more contacts and more money and more resources, and they're more connected in different places and, all this other stuff. They've controlled Hollywood, which means the messaging in all the movies is controlled by them and all that other stuff. Yes, they did that. Guess what? That was their strategy on what they did. And they won in that area. Other people could have done it, but they had the vision of saying, we believe Hollywood's one way to persuade the entire world. And, a big part of that is maybe they learned from another guy. Where they would ever see, and you know the story about Titanic. You know who was the first producer of Titanic? You know who?
Someone named Adolf Hitler.
Do you know the first Titanic was Adolf Hitler? He produced it.
The first movie?
Go pull up Titanic. First Titanic. Who funded the first Titanic? Not 79, the first one. First, who funded the first Titanic movie?
The Nazis.
The Nazis. It's not 1997. The first one. Okay? The first one. 1943 film. Was funded by the Nazi regime through its production company, UFA. It was a propaganda film to depict British characters as villains and highlight fiction German officer as a hero. and the film was overseen by Joseph Goebbels, the
Goebbels.
Nazi minister of propaganda. So guess what? Germany realized the way to get people to think Nazi soldiers are good is through a movie. And what did Israel's like? Oh, you're going to play this game? We're going straight to Hollywood because it works. And, that doesn't mean it's good, bad. It's an effective way of doing it. Hitler used it for his own reasons. And Israel's like, we're going to use it to tell our story of what happened with Israel. And here's who we are. Hey, you know what? Other people could have done that. They did that. And then you bring it to today, right? When Netanyahu said, I'm telling you, if we go Saddam Hussein, Iraq, da-da-da-da-da, and I'm watching the way he's doing it again, right? Man, he knows how to sell fear porn.
Oh, yeah.
He knows how to sell that so well. And by the way, that's an art. He knows how to sell it. Watch this clip here. Go for it.
No question whatsoever that Saddam is seeking and is working and is advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons. No question whatsoever.
You can pause that right there. Now watch this. Yesterday we're having this, and I'll turn it over to you guys here. Yesterday we're having this training for our executive team with Dale Carnegie's team. We brought him in here to train our guys. We do this quarterly, if not every 6 months. But we brought him here yesterday. You know what's one of the quotes that he said? Here's one of the quotes that the guy said yesterday. He says, I hope I find this. 1930. I have to say this quote. Oh, it's such a powerful quote. Are you kidding me?
What happened?
He says, the quote he says is, I'm trying to, Tom, tell me if you remember this quote. He says, there's nothing, he says, when you give your opinion in a way of it being a fact, you're manipulating the audience. In other words, I can't find a quote.
I have it if you want.
Yeah.
An opinion disguised as a fact is an invitation for an argument.
Did you see that?
Ooh.
An opinion disguised as a fact is an invitation for what?
An argument.
An argument. He gave his opinion as a fact is an invitation for an argument. Replace the argument with a war.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's also been a player in causing this mayhem. There's a lot of angry patriots in America today. Vinny is not alone. A lot of people are furious, okay? And if you're somebody who supports Vinny, you support the brand, you're an angry patriot yourself, and you want to go out there and show it in the marketplace, say, I'm an angry patriot, what's going on? Whatever it could be, go to VTmerch.com, support Vinny, Angry Patriot Collection, hats, shirts, all that stuff is
Can I
out
say
there.
something, Pat?
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. And guys, the bucket hats for summer, for everything. The shirts, look, the shirts are, the T-shirts, the one that I have on right now, are down to $19.99. Am I right, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're down to $20, and then the hoodies are down to $24.99. And whatever you buy, you guys get a mug from this collection. You get a free mug. That's an Angry Patriot mug that is right there. So and people were like this, Vinny, the election's over. Why are you still angry? I'm like, there's still enough stuff happening. It's not going to stop while I'm going to be upset.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.